really looking forward to sharing with you some insights into how quantum technology, which is very much a deep tech technology, is going to have impacts on climate change and help us move towards net zero. I think it will be picking up some of the themes that we've just been talking about earlier. So why quantum technologies? And really, at a broad brushstrokes, quantum technologies offer the potential for transformative change across a range of sectors. And really, development is grouped into 4 key technology areas. So we have quantum networking, which is all about security and how we transfer and process our information. We've got quantum PNT, positioning, navigation, and timing. It's really all about resilience and how we find alternatives to GPS. But I think this audience, really ought to focus on 2 primary areas. Firstly, quantum sensors, new technologies for seeing the invisible, and quantum computing, which is really the big beast of quantum technologies. And that's developing next generation transformational computers to solve currently intractable problems, offering exponential speed-ups and accuracy in modeling. So in a nutshell, that's what quantum technologies are. Now let me give you a sense of the quantum landscape in the UK, and many of you will know this already. It's one of the big kind of buzz areas of deep tech. Thanks to the £1 billion National Quantum Technologies Programme, which has been going for 9 years now, we have one of the most active quantum ecosystems in the world. And really, we are recognised as being a leader in this space. The Quantum Technologies Challenge Fund, which is the programme that I've been delivering at Innovate UK, really has prioritised industrial leadership and commercialisation of quantum technologies. And we're very proud of the fact that we've invested or have crowded in nearly 200 companies to be actively collaborating in this area of deep tech with over 40 research institutions, and really driving these technologies towards commercialization, demonstration, and ultimately adoption. Global companies are investing here too, and we show here Toshiba, who opened their strategic quantum technology commercialization center in Cambridge in 2023. So far, 200 million of government investments. That's mostly government grant funding, but other mechanisms too, like pre-commercial procurement and SBRI, have gone into the sector. We think we're directly responsible for at least 500 million of catalysed private investment. That's thanks to the efforts of yourselves. And this is really all from a base of 0 in the last 10 years. So it's really substantial progress. So let me give you 3 insights into how quantum technologies will impact climate and how industry is innovating, collaborating and investing. So I'm going to focus on the profile of 3 companies that are active in Innovate UK programs. The first company is QLM. This is a startup from the University of Bristol. The problem statement here is that methane is over 80 times more potent as a greenhouse gas than CO2. So it's one of the significant issues in our atmosphere today. Fugitive methane, that's methane escaping from oil and gas infrastructure, is both a climate cost and an economic cost as well. So for those 2 reasons, we need to act on it fast. So QLM from Bristol developed a quantum LiDAR imaging camera, and you can see this highlighted on the slide here. Really, these can be set up at infrastructure sites, and leaks can be accurately pinpointed and located and ultimately fixed. So this company, alongside their Innovate UK projects, have recently raised a £12 million Series A with a strategic investment from Schlumberger, who are an operator of oil and gas infrastructure. And they have a first product. QLM have a first product on the market. So while people talk about quantum as an emerging technology, some of it has emerged, and there's much more to come. I think this is a particular area where new regulations are going to be transforming the business case, as we have seen with the EU announcing curbs on leaks at oil and gas infrastructure. The second company I'd like to focus on is AMT or AMT Power. This is one of the UK's biggest battery manufacturers. Now, preaching to the converted here,
manufacturing batteries at scale is going to be essential for tackling for meeting climate targets. Quantum sensors can see inside the battery, and that means that during manufacture, this has the possibility to transform inline testing and quality control. And there is a 30% improvement in production output to be had if you can accelerate what they call the aging process in battery manufacturing. So AMTI Power, which is really going to be a user, is leading a major consortium of quantum technology developers, component suppliers, and research institutions to develop an inline quantum imaging sensor array that's going to be demonstrated at their facility in Thursday in the next year. And finally, I'm going to shift gears and talk about quantum computing. So many of you will have heard of a company called Riverlane. This is one of the UK's most prominent quantum computing startup companies. Well, really, they're a scale-up, I would argue. So quantum computers can simulate materials in a way that current computers cannot. And this is really about accelerating the design cycle and the selection of candidate materials. So catalysts are really crucial for the production of clean fuels, and better catalysts for more efficient industrial processes are needed. So companies like Riverlane have been landing partnerships with majors like Johnson Matthey to evaluate the potential of quantum computing for catalyst design and processing. And so Riverlane are now 100 employees and have raised 35 million of private investment to date. So I could take catalysts out, so I can substitute in battery materials or photovoltaic materials. So there is a potential for quantum computing that is really very broad. I'm going to end on a bit of the kind of bigger picture and how the UK is going to be playing in the next 10 years. So the investment landscape is significant. So on the public side, UK is not alone, and many countries around the world are now investing significantly. Most notably China, who has announced a staggering 15 billion of quantum technologies investment. But the UK is right up there. On the private side, the UK is also in the top 3 for quantum technology startups. Much of this investment is driven by quantum computing and the roadmap that's following. But the wider quantum technology supply chain benefits from that, and there is a lot of commonality in the components and the underpinning technologies. Now, the UK government continues to recognise the importance of quantum technologies, and this March announced a new strategy, first ever national quantum strategy, that commits the UK to supporting this technology with 2.5 billion over the next 10 years. So I would argue that's actually quite an unusual commitment that the UK has made over such a period in the context of other commitments and other deep tech areas. And following that, Innovate UK has committed 100 million of new funding to the sector in this financial year alone. The national strategy is all about research, it's all about industry, attracting global companies to the UK, accelerating the use of government procurement to pull through these emerging technologies alongside many other things. So just to end on a few perspectives and insights. Quantum is a long-term technology, but it has some of it has emerged, and much more of it will be emerging in the near future. And the UK recognises this opportunity, is committed to that. International competition is rife, but actually for you, I think that means there's a global opportunity. And quantum-enabled solutions will have impact on a range of sectors, including climate and net zero technologies. The adoption of quantum sensors is going to look a bit different to the adoption of quantum computing. So I think there'll be diverse business models, there'll be licensing of technologies to users, and the rollout of those technologies will need to happen at scale. And whilst quantum computing, on the other hand, has transformational use cases, the development of that is tied to the technology roadmap. And the landscape on the company side is really dominated by either majors or deep tech scale-ups and startups. So I think we can expect a lot of mergers and acquisitions over the next few years. But in a broad nutshell, that's how quantum technology is going to impact climate solutions, and that's a bit of an overview of what's happening in the UK and why it's globally significant. So thank you for listening.
much.